Drop the Mexico. Just America. It's cleaner.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. In Trump term 1, the corporate media regularly shrieked and cried and screamed at how offended they were at being called fake news. It hurt their feelings. But they would be longing for those sweet bygone days now, because in Trump term 2, if you are fake news, you will get punished and publicly humiliated by the White House. And it's a glorious story, and it starts with President Trump renaming the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America.
Changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Donald Trump announcing this months before he was sworn in as president. Now the White House officially taking a victory lap here with the renaming of the body of water that is protected by America, made economically viable by America, that has the longest geographical border with America, that should have always been the Gulf of America. This is now reflected on Google Maps, as you can see right here, the Gulf of America. There it is. Zoom on out here. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Google acknowledging it here in a post. The Gulf of America name change. It's happening not only on Google, but also on Apple Maps. Happening all across the world. And the world will respect us again. They've done it, ladies and gentlemen. The Gulf of America. Look at this. The postcards are already being printed off, right? They really changed the Gulf of America on Google Maps. We live in the dumbest simulation ever. Do we, though? Lib? Because Donald Trump named the Gulf of America, while flying over the Gulf of America during a live broadcast on Air Force One speaker system that they are now officially in the Gulf of America.
Flying right over it right now. So we thought this would be appropriate. Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big thing. And almost everybody now has assented to that.
Attention on board. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention out the right side of the aircraft. Air Force One is currently in international waters, for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
Wow, yeah. He did that well.
Wow. This is President Trump actually literally renaming it. This was when the name took effect. Now, Google Maps reflects the names of the American Geological Institute through the Department of the Interior, which is responsible for what's named what in this country. And now it reflects that, and Redditors are having a total meltdown. This makes me sick. Just posted the first 5-star review of the Gulf of America on Google Maps. Oh, good, ladies and gentlemen. People are absolutely crashing out. Anything that makes Reddit angry makes me happy. So, exciting. Also, the Mexican president is very angry about this renaming, along with, of course, the globalist media infrastructure that keeps people like the Mexican president in power, along with the cartels. The AP decided that instead of reporting what is true, which is that this body of water is now known as the Gulf of America, they're not going to call it that. The AP has decided that they're smarter and better than the 77 million people that elected Donald Trump, that they're smarter and better than the logical will of this constitutional republic that says we want the Gulf of America, not the Gulf of Mexico. And so the AP published this. The Gulf of Mexico has carried that name for 400 years. President Trump has signed an executive order to rename the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America. The body of water has shared borders with U.S. and Mexico. Trump's order carries authority within the United States. Mexico, as well as other countries and international bodies, do not have to recognize the name change. The Gulf of Mexico has carried the name for 400 years. The Associated Press will refer to it by its original name, while acknowledging the new name Trump has chosen. Okay. So they are saying they're just going to defy President Trump and not say Gulf of America. They're going to defy the federal government. And it's very insurrection activity, isn't it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, fake news has consequences. And those consequences is that now the AP is banned from the White House, or at least from various events at the White House. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, in a screeching, seething post on X, an AP correspondent said, "Today, our White House reporter was denied access to the Oval Office because the Associated Press recognizes the international body of water on our southern coastline as the Gulf of Mexico." How dare you dead name the Gulf of America? So instead of just calling it the Gulf of America, which is what everyone is doing, right? Here you go, Google. They're deciding to take a stand on this hill and to say, no, we the AP are better than the American people, better than who they elected, better than all the federal and government agencies that call it the Gulf of America. And because of that fake news and that pomposity, the White House has said, okay, that's fine. You don't get to come into White House events any longer. If you're going to be fake news, if you're going to lie to your audience about what's going on inside of this country, then you're not going to get access. It's exactly how it should be. And Karoline Leavitt, when asked about this, just rings like a bell, dude. She just absolutely pitch perfect. Exactly the right answer. It's a privilege to be in the White House. It's a privilege to get a chance to be in the same room as the president. You're not entitled to that. And you can F off with your fake news.
Which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server. And Apple has recognized that. Google has recognized that. Pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America. And it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world.
Did you see the way that CNN, that smarmy little sniveling CNN, Kaitlan Collins, she makes me sick. Oh, she makes me sick. Used to go on Fox News, used to work for Tucker Carlson, was totally right-wing until libs paid her, and then she became totally left-wing. These people, they're such frauds. They're such media prostitutes. Anything for money, right? Oh, yeah. As long as you pay enough, you can get that, right? Yeah, you can get me to abandon literally everything I believed just like 10 seconds ago. Notice how she says that? It's like they use the phrase Gulf of America. It's not a phrase. It's what it's called, dumbass. And the screaming and the seething is exciting. It's delicious. The tears are very tasty. Karoline Leavitt stuns reporter with warning to those who lie about the Gulf of America. F around and find out. Cry more. Everybody saying this is the clip of the day, man, from the briefing. You're going to be held accountable if you lie. The fact is that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. Thank you very much. Stephen Chung a assistant to the president, White House director of communications, posted a world's smallest violin in response to this. Let it be known, ladies and gentlemen, that you could only ever dream of the offenses that you had in Trump term 1. You'll be longing for them by the time this is all over. Careful what you wish for. You just might get it. It's your boy Benny, playing the world's smallest violin over here, right off the Gulf of America, which is where I live, proudly.